September 5th, 1917, Camp Sherman. Dearest Anna, first day of a soldier's life passed with plenty of excitement, and we had one good meal. The second was not so good because we had to wash our own dishes, which consist of a cup, pan plate, knife, spoon, and fork. The food so far is good, but there's not enough of it. We each have our own cot, straw mattress, gray army blanket on top of it, and a regulation olive drab blanket. David Pastor was a young man who grew up in Columbus, although he was born in Hungary, and he came to the U.S. when he was about a year old. He worked here, he worked in the post office, and he enlisted in the Army in about early 1918. David Pastor writes to his cousin. It's a distant cousin. Her name is Anna Pastor, and she lives in Cincinnati, Ohio. We traveled about 12 miles today. We had a pack on our backs, just like a peddler, also a rifle and an overcoat. There is now a Jewish club room in Chillicothe run by the B'nai B'rith, where we hang out when in town. It's real nice, dance floor, luncheons, etc., and all for nothing. We've learned that the Jewish community of Columbus and Central Ohio sent a lot of their men to war. We love looking through these letters. They really tell the personal side of a soldier's life. All of the boys wrote letters frequently. That was their main way of communicating. They wrote mornings, they wrote in the evenings. There were posts at 2 or 3 times a day. You keep my spirit up. I am even anxious to go to France now. This joint is getting to be tiresome. You may soon be able to make a collection of foreign letters, but I think we will soon put an end to the Kaiser when we get over there. All of the young men that went down to camp, whether it was Sherman or any of these other camps around the country, really did think that they were all headed to Europe. In David's case, he didn't need to go. He stayed and was part of the Quartermaster Corps. A military life was very dangerous, and it was surprising to some of these young men. They had the flu epidemic, which became something that really took over the camp. I was at the hospital tonight to visit a boy who was sick. He was unconscious when I saw him and died an hour later, and I never want to see anyone suffer like he did. I could hardly stand there and watch his agonized gasping for breath. When I got out, I was almost overcome with horror and sorrow, for he was certainly a nice boy and a good pal. These letters will become part of an exhibit that we will do during 2018. It's an exhibit that really talks about Jewish life in Central Ohio in the year 1918. So we use the letters to illustrate what was happening to our boys, whether they were here, whether they were at camp, or whether they were over there. After the war, David and Anna, who had been engaged during the war, finally got married. It took them till about 1920. David felt that he really wanted to be a little bit more settled. He wanted to make sure that he had a good job, and then he married Anna and she moved to Columbus.